Chapter 3 My Special Friend. On the same day, at the same hour, in the Guardian's palace in the city of Carthage, a council was held. In attendance were Asahan, the high priest of the temple of Moloch, Hiram, member of the Great Phoenician Council and head of the city guard, and Barkas, one of the richest merchants of the city. They sat in silence. Finally, Hiram shifted impatiently.
"Where's this dog?"
he asked Barkas.
"He'll be here soon."
"Is he Greek?"
"Greek."
"And you trust him?"
"We pay him well, and he is smart enough to know on which side his barley cake is oiled."
Hiram nodded.
"Better make this worth his while."
The old merchant's face lengthened.
"And what is all this for, Asahan? You had him in your hand, that Persian."
"He isn't Persian, he's a Mede."
"Same difference. The plague on all Medes and all Persians. It will now cost us a fortune to recapture him. And you had him in your hand."
"So I did, but the council said not to hold him by force."
"But they did tell you to be careful, yes?"
"My guards had orders not to let him out of the gate." Barkas shrugged.
"So he jumped over the wall. How hard was that to foresee?" "What? Old age, Asahan, old age. It does not sharpen the acuity of the mind, does it?"
Agitated, Asahan rose sharply. "Hiram, do not allow Phoenician dignitaries to be offended in your house."
"And what if this dignitary acted like a baby?"
"Barkas!" Asahan slammed the table with his palm. "Hiram, I'm saying this to you because this dog, although my relative, is not worth human speech. I was told to treat this Mede like an honored guest and not hurt him. What was I supposed to do? And now everyone is after me for letting him get away. Both the prince and the highest council. Everyone on poor little me. But they made him an honored guest, yes?"
"They said that because he is an envoy and a priest."
"High priest, actually, but not an envoy."
"Well, if he isn't an envoy, then why take so much trouble with him? If he had fallen somewhere, down some convenient stairs, and hurt his neck, who would have complained?"
"Hiram, now you speak like a child. If anything happened to him here, would you then go to Medea?"
"Why would I go there? I have no business there."
"You don't, but our brothers, the Phoenicians of Tyre, Cyprus and Sidon, do."
"Well, if he had just disappeared, who would have known why?"
"And if our men then started disappearing in Medea, no one would know why either, yes?"
"All right, but we could have detained him by force."
"Yes, by Moloch, and we should have done just that. But the Supreme Council did not order him imprisoned, and there is little point arguing about it now."
"But why imprison him?"
"Because he knows too much. He's been everywhere, sniffing."
"Why was he here, this Persian?"
"Not a Persian, a Mede."
"Whatever, that priest."
"Not a priest, a high priest."
"Same thing," said Barkas with exasperation.
"It is not the same thing at all." Asahan was offended. "There is actually a big difference between a priest and a high priest. You have never heard of high priests, Barkas? As in Chaldean high priests?"
"Oh, yeah. Clever fellows, they say."
"Clever? Too clever for you. And have you heard about Median mages?"
"Say what?"
"Oh, gods, he has not heard of the mages. Do you know, they are even smarter than the Chaldeans. They know more than the sages of Egypt. They know such arts that the head swells to hear about them. It's scary just to think about these guys. Okay, Barkas?"
All right. I did not know that in other countries high priests were so wise."
"Barkas!" Hiram broke into the conversation quickly.
You have not yet told me why this Persian was hanging around here.
This Mede?
Yes, this Mede.
Hiram, no one should know that.
OK, but I'm not no one, and if you know, I'll know.
What I say must fall as a rock falls into the deep sea, Hiram.
Fine.
So he, that Mede, came here to make peace between Phoenicians and Greeks in Egypt.
Huh? What does he care?
He wants Egypt to be strong.
I don't get why this matters to us. But what's that to him? Is he an Egyptian?
No, but Egypt is an ally of Medea. This is, how should I put it, level 5 power politics. OK?
No, I don't get it. Those are very distant countries. Why do we care if he wants to make peace in Egypt?
Asahan and Barcus looked at each other with exasperation. What do you mean, what do we care? Don't you understand this, Hiram? Don't you understand that the Greeks must be done away with, once and for all? It's either them or us. By Moloch, by the terrible Astarte, either them or us. Who's taking all the trade from us? Greeks. Who establishes colonies, trading posts, settlements everywhere right under our noses? Greeks. Who turns up now in places where we have been left alone to do our business for centuries? Who breeds like rabbits? Who builds more ships than we do? Who takes away our cargoes and our earnings?
Carthage is rich.
Yes, and how much richer she would be if not for these damned Greeks. They were already all over the north 50 years ago, but thankfully they left us alone here in Africa at least. And now? Ask Barcus how much he loses every year since that lousy Greek settlement in Cyrene went up. A pox upon Cyrene! Half the ships from the east no longer come straight to us, but transship in Cyrene. Or in Barca, that's another poxy Greek town in Africa, if you must know. And ask our partners in Egypt how they are faring. Same story. Who formerly ruled in Egypt?
Egyptians?
Gods, you are a child, Hiram. Egyptians indeed. Maybe in the past 1,000 years ago. But now it's our bankers, our treasurers, our advisers to His Holiness the Pharaoh. Bankers and consultants, you know. Even when the Assyrians ruled there for a while, Egypt wasn't a bad place for us. And now, yikes, there are already more Greeks than there are Phoenicians. And they keep pushing in from all sides. And most of all, into the army. Into the army! So, who gets all the new offices, palaces, and honours? Damned Greeks is who. For their officers, for their chiefs, for their mangy dogs. Everything for the Greeks.
Asahan is right. We can't wait any longer. The longer we wait, the harder the future fight will be. So, let's do it now. It's either them or us. And now we have a good chance.
Hiram shuddered. War, he whispered. Yes, we have to end with them once and for all. In Egypt and Cyrene and all over Africa. Hiram groaned. War is a terrible thing.
Hiram, you are the commander of the guard, and you fear war?
And who is to be afraid of war if not me? You? You will stay at home with your musicians and your slave girls. And so will Asahan. It's me who will have to go out and get killed, yes? Oh, don't be so scared, Hiram. Nobody's pushing you to attack the Greeks. We aren't here to fight. We'll let others do it.
Who?
Egypt. Hiram nodded. His face lit up.
Ah, well, that's different. That's Phoenician. That is prudent and rational. Etruscans fight for us in the north. The pirates prey on the Greeks at sea. And now, let's have Egyptians fight for us in Libya. I like that. But what does this have to do with this Persian?
This Mede?
This Mede.
I've already told you, Hiram. He wants to make peace between us and the Greeks in Egypt. And we want war because now is the best time for it. If this Mede goes to Egypt, he'll break everything we have fixed, and fix everything we have broken. He knows the Pharaoh, the nomarchs. He knows a lot, too much. He is completely unnecessary there. And now, thanks to the supreme vigilance of our city guard, he is free to go there.
That's bad.
Very bad.
So, you shouldn't have let him go. It would have been better to kill him.
But why? We only had to hold him here long enough for the ball to start rolling in Egypt. Then let him go wherever. It's never a good idea to kill a priest.
A high priest.
Right, a high priest. Big whoop, said Barcus.
Barcus, you are stupider than a young dog. You don't know what these high priests can do. Have you heard what happened to one of our princes in Cyprus? He received such a wise man as a guest, for an extended visit, a Chaldean. You know, one of those Babylonian fellows. And he wanted to get rid of him, so he gave him a roast of fattened dog for dinner every day.
So what? Dog is very good meat.
Yes, but Chaldeans don't eat it. Maybe they can't. Maybe they don't like it. I don't know. Maybe their god says no dog and no hanky-panky.
I get it. Go on.
Well, so this priest would not eat it. Anyway, he was polite and said nothing on the first day. Nothing on the second day either. But on the 5th day he had had enough and left. Only on departure he said this to the prince. I see, worthy prince, that you like dog meat very much. From now on, everything you eat will remind you of this delicacy. And he left. And you know what, Barcus? Many years have passed since then, and he, this prince, every time he eats something, it all tastes like dog fat. At first he kept changing cooks. Now he gave up. The poor man lost weight. He's ruined. I saw him. He said that even when he eats grapes, they reek of dog fat.
Barcus shook his head.
That's a swinish revenge, he said. I didn't know they could do stuff like this.
Well, never mind that. Now, let's talk about this Mede. How do we stop him? He isn't here any more.
No, he's not, indeed, Asahan confirmed, because your guards keep a really good watch over the port.
Asahan, said Hiram sadly, you got your tongue lashing from the Supreme Council. So did I. And what have I done? Yesterday, before daybreak, I sent a signal to our post on the Eastern Cape. They saw a boat and sent the fastest galley in pursuit, but the storm got in the way. Too late to do anything about that now. Better we ask Barcus what to do now, okay?
And that is?
Ha, said Barcus. This is where my special friend comes in, my Greek friend. He'll fix all of this, never worry. He's going to set out today. He will take with him your servant, the one who knows this Mede and can identify him. They will go by fast ship straight to Syracuse.
Why there?
The Supreme Council thinks the Mede must have gone there.
Okay, then what?
Well, in Syracuse, your man will recognize this Mede and point him out to my man.
And then?
And then my man will take care of business.
What do you mean, take care of business?
I mean, he will do something to prevent this dog from reaching Egypt.
Pray, not kill him?
Nah, better not. The High Council said better not to do this, maybe as a last resort.
So, how is he going to stop him?
That's his business. He says it can be done. He is cunning and has his own friends in various Greek ports.
Greek friends?
Greek friends. But you know how the Greeks are. They don't stick together worth squat. In fact, When we're not around, they're at each other's throats like mad dogs. Every little town does what it wants."
At that moment, Hiram's servant entered the chamber. "My lord," he said, "a Greek man has come to see you and is waiting in the vestibule."
"All right, let him in."
Asahan rose from his seat.
"I'm going out," he said. "It is not fitting for my dignified office to come in contact with impure animals. You two already know everything there is to know. I'll send my servant here immediately, that fellow who saw the mead, and who will go to Syracuse to identify him."
"Fine. Just tell me one thing, Asahan. What is this Persian's name?"
"This Meads?"
"This Meads."
"His name is— well, it doesn't matter, because he can change names like sandals. But his mother called him Nehurabed."